Okay, so the title says it all. This is why you are not rich and still poor. You have been lied to. And I know this to be true because I've been lied to. 7 years ago, I was someone just like you. I had a normal 9 to 5 job. I would clock in Monday to Friday, 40 hours per week. And on some days, I would work overtime just so I can get some overtime pay. And hopefully my boss will love me, give me a raise, and I can climb the corporate ladder. That didn't happen. And I noticed that after every paycheck, after every bi-weekly paycheck that I would get, I was left with almost no money. I probably had like $100 or $200 laying around after everything has been paid off, after I paid my taxes, my mortgage, my car payments, groceries, whatever it is, I had no money left. So 7 years ago, I thought to myself, how are people getting rich? How are they making money? How is it possible? Because I've been working my ass off and I've been kissing ass for so many years, but I'm still poor. I was considered the lower to middle class, and I did not understand how people were living in mansions or driving nice cars, taking luxurious vacations, or how people had enough money to raise a family. I didn't understand any of that 7 years ago. But I realized that I've been lied to. I've made some changes in my life. And that is how today I have 3 multi-million-dollar homes. I have my dream cars. I take a vacation whenever I want. No one tells me what to do. I have a family that I love. But all of this was possible because I understood this one thing, and that was I was lied to. So let me explain to you 2 different types of people, because after you see the differences between these 2 different types of people, you may start to understand how it's possible to make a fuckload of money. So over here, we have a person. Okay, this is a person. And on this side, we have a different kind of person. Okay, so we will call this guy person A and this guy person B. Okay, so we have this guy in black and we have this guy in green. Now, over 99% of us, we are this guy right here, where during our upbringing, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents told us to go to school, get good grades, get a job, pay taxes, save all your money, and try to buy a home, buy a car, and start a family. Okay, this is what we were all told. And this is what they teach you in school. So in school, you probably recall that your teachers, your parents, and basically almost everyone in your life told you that that is the only way how you can become successful, is to become like 99% of people in the world. They all get good grades, go to school, get a good job, pay taxes, and that's it, right? We try to find the love of our life, we try to have a family, and that's it. But most people do not know that if you are this guy right here, there is absolutely no way in hell for you to get rich. And that is because if you were to go to school, get good grades, try to get a good job, try to go to college and do everything else that society tells you to do, after you are done school, you are left in huge debt. Okay, so you can do a quick Google search on how many people are in debt after they finish college and university. It's crazy. The amount of money that people are in debt for going to school is crazy. And they only do this because that is what they were taught growing up. Okay, so growing up, my parents told me the exact same thing. I remember when I was 3 years old, my dad would tell me, make sure you get good grades when you go to school, make sure that you go to college, we are saving up for your education, and then you can graduate to get a high-paying job, etc. That's what my parents told me. And I believe that to be true, okay? I believed it to be true because my dad had a job. He had a 9-to-5 job, and he also had a part-time job And he also had another job after his 9-to-5 job because he was trying to support the family. My mom also had a part-time job at home. She was a homemaker, but she also had a part-time job. So both my parents, looking at them when I was growing up, they both had jobs. Same with my grandparents. They had jobs. They worked until they were 65 to 70 and then they retired. And nobody in my family was rich. We were considered the lower class to the middle class. So if this sounds familiar, you are probably the 99%. We all know the 99% because this is what they teach you in school. This is what your parents teach you. It is what your grandparents teach you. And nobody talks about this guy over here. This guy over here does not follow society. They think for themselves. This guy over here has more money than these people over here. I call this the 1%. So after I got fired from multiple 9-to-5 jobs when I was this guy over here, I told my parents, hey, look, I've been working jobs for many years now, and I noticed that I'm not getting paid enough. So my dad says to me, oh, go back to school. Go to school. We will help you pay for your education. You can pay us back so you can get a higher paying job. And I did the math, okay? I thought, okay, if I go to school to try to learn to become an engineer, for example, I still would not be able to afford a multi-million-dollar home. I still do not have the freedom to do what I want. I still need to report to a boss. I still cannot pack up and go on vacation. I still cannot buy my dream cars or all these other things that I want in life. When I did the math, if you Google the average salary of an engineer, for example, and you do the math on how much it will cost to buy your dream home, like a really beautiful multi-million-dollar home, it's not possible. So I thought, I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing what 99% of people are doing because I've tried it. I've done it so many times and it didn't matter which company I worked for. I was constantly climbing the corporate ladder. I was always waking up super early, Monday to Friday, sitting in traffic just to go to a job that I absolutely fucking hated. I hated my job, I hated my life, and most people are okay with that. They continue to live their life in the 99%. They continue to live their life thinking that a job is something that they are supposed to hate. They think that is normal, that after you work so hard for a paycheck, you have to pay taxes on top of that, and you work so hard for money when the government is printing money. You probably already know this, that the government prints money out of thin air. And here you are, being the 99%, hustling hard, working for your boss, trying to get a raise and saving money to buy that dream home, to start a family, whatever it is. It sounds fucking crazy. And to make things worse, 99% of people who go to their day-to-day job, they are being told what to do. So when I was at my last job, my boss would tell me, no, you cannot go see the dentist, we need you. Or no, you cannot take a 1-week vacation, we need you. It was like I was their slave. I didn't have a say. I was not respected. I was being told when to take time off. I was being told when to wake up. I was being told when I can eat my lunch. And to make matters worse, my boss used to creep on me from the office cameras. We had like cameras in the office, and he used to look in the camera and then tell me face to face, hey, I saw you looking in the mirror, fixing your hair. You're not allowed to do that. And that's when I thought, like, what the fuck? Like, do people really do this for the rest of their lives? 99% of people. And at the end of the day, they are still left broke. They still feel like they're poor because you have to pay taxes and bills and all that stuff. So anyway, back to when I had enough of this, that was when I did some research online to become this guy over here. This is the 1%. The 1% decide to do something for themselves. These are business owners, investors, entrepreneurs. These people work for themselves. These people write their own paycheck. So when I thought about that, I was like, how is that possible though? Like, how can I, the small little person over here, become this big guy right here? So I can buy the multi-million-dollar homes, so I can have enough money to raise a family, so I can have enough money to have my dream wedding. I thought to myself, how can I do it? Because nobody taught me this growing up. And at first, I thought this was a scam, okay? I get messages from people all the time. And they're like, oh, you're scamming me. What you're doing is a scam, you scammer. There's no such thing as getting rich. And I'm like, dude, that's because you believe this guy over here, okay? You've been on this side for so long since birth that you don't even know that someone like this can exist. And people like this do exist. People here are people like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. Those are just billionaires in the world, right? Those are big names. And I'm not saying that I am anywhere close to that level, but what I am saying is that I'm over here. I work for myself. I built my own online businesses. I don't get told what to do. I am the 1%, and I write my own paycheck. So going back to the big question, how can I go from here to here? You just need to take the initiative to do something completely different that people over here will not normally do. So people over here do not build businesses. They do not educate themselves on business. They barely invest. They don't know that it's possible to work for themselves so they can become the 1% of multimillionaires in the world. And how I was able to be over here was after I discovered this, and I knew that I had enough of this guy over here because I was tired of being broke, being this guy, I started doing both. Okay, so I had my 9-to-5 job, like how I normally do. And then I had some time after work to work on a side hustle that allowed me to make extra money so I can eventually transition to becoming this guy full time. I wanted to become a millionaire. I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to take luxurious vacations. I didn't want a boss. I didn't want to be like these guys. So after I tried it out for a few months, I went online. I looked up how to make money online. That's when I launched a few online businesses. My first business, I failed. My first business was when I was splitting time between my Shopify store and working at my 9-to-5 job. I failed, but I learned something very important. And that was, I discovered that it was totally possible for me to work for myself so I can eventually transition to this guy over here, this guy who makes multi-millions of dollars every year. Because I started to see that if I were to produce something and create a product of my own, I am in full control. I am no longer getting bossed around. I don't have a boss. I am my own boss. I can work as many hours as I like. But the biggest difference between the two, when I was transitioning from here to over here, was that I needed to get comfortable with being a producer and not a consumer. So most people on this side, they are consumers. They follow the crowd. They are followers of society. They consume a lot of what other people are doing. But in order for you to become a multimillionaire, you have to produce. There's no other way. You have to create and you have to produce. So when I was transitioning, when I started my online business, that's when I found a different online business model, which was the Amazon FBA business model. And with that business model, I was able to create my own products, my own physical products. Okay, and that's when I realized, holy shit, I can create my own product, sell it online, and save so much time because I am leveraging other people's time. So if you are familiar with that business model, you probably already know that you create your own physical products, but Amazon's warehouse workers do all the shipping and handling for you. So I thought, what a great business model, because now I don't need to go to my 9-to-5 job, sit in traffic, be told be told what to do, and most importantly, I did not have to trade my time for money. So when I was over here, remember, I worked 40 plus hours per week, okay? That is a lot of time. I spent a lot of time working for someone else in exchange to get paid by the hour. So this is when I realized that there are only 24 hours in a day, okay? There are 24 hours in a day, and I worked 40 hours per week at least. But since I am capped at 24 hours per day, there is no way I can work, let's say, 30 hours per day to increase my pay. There is no way. It is impossible. You cannot just create more time from the 24 hours that we all have per day, okay? If there's one thing we all have in common, is that we all have 24 hours per day. So when I discovered the Amazon FBA business model, and I had other people doing the shipping and handling for me, I didn't have to use my time anymore. I just got paid. So I created this product. I created this little business. I created this little business, and I put a C here for company, okay? That was my company. I created the product one time, and I was able to resell it over and over again using other people's time. And it didn't take me long to produce this product. It took me like a few hours, after doing some product research, after finding a supplier and shipping it to the warehouse. Not much time. And then I started to make a lot of money because people were buying my products, and I no longer had to walk into an office and put in all these hours. Okay, so I was making a lot of passive income. This is called passive income, when I do not have to trade my own time for money. So eventually I grew this company to 7 figures. I met a business partner who was also selling his products in a similar niche. Together, we joined forces, and he taught me a lot about the Amazon FBA business model. I learned so much. And that was when I thought to myself, now that I have so much knowledge and education behind this company, I can start a new online business. I can do something else. And that's when I thought, okay, I have knowledge and experience now to launch a different type of online business, so I can create an additional stream of income for myself. So this was when I discovered digital products. The sun is getting in the way, so just ignore the shadow. But now I have 2 different online businesses. I started with this one, which was my Amazon FBA business. And then I had a lot of experience and knowledge around that. And then I started this, which is my digital products business. So basically with this business, it's all passive income as well. Because with all the experience and knowledge that I learned from this company, I applied it to create this digital product, which was an online coaching program to help other people start their Amazon businesses as well. So I started with the Amazon FBA business over here, got enough experience, started a different type of online business, and now with this company, I can help these guys right here. I am teaching these people how to get out of here so they can become like this guy, like me right here. The guy that can make multi-millions of dollars every year, so they can stop doing this, whatever this is. So the longer I was this guy over here, the more I realized that I've been lied to. Society has been lying to me this entire time. The government wants to tax you. If you are working a regular job, they are going to tax you. So not only do they tax you heavily being an employee on your personal tax return, but you also pay taxes when you go grocery shopping, or when you buy a new desk, or when you buy this whiteboard, whatever it is that you buy, you also get taxed. So not only are you a slave to someone else, but now the government wants to tax your ass. They want to tax you for almost everything in life. Whereas for this guy over here, I do not pay as much taxes as this guy over here because I have companies. Companies pay way less taxes. So I am an incorporated company, And if I were to purchase something for my business, for example, this whiteboard or my iPhone, my laptop, this stand that I'm using, the chair that I am sitting on, this pen that I am holding, I can write off all those expenses and save a fuck ton of money on taxes. So this is why people on this side, when you hear rich people do not pay taxes or they pay very little taxes, is because they are the 1% doing all of this right here. Also, currently my husband and I are getting deeper into real estate. So eventually we will have. So this company we've been working on the last few years will be another additional stream of income because we have tenants that pay us rent. So after I spent some time with the first online business that I started, I eventually did not have to be this guy anymore. I never went back to my 9-to-5 job. In fact, I started living my life completely different. I started seeing things differently. I started seeing more money. And then I started making more money because I was looking at things differently compared to this guy over here. This guy will always trade their time for money, doing the same thing every day, hoping for a different result. But let's think about this for a moment. If you stay here being this guy, you are in the same type of routine every day. And this is when you hear poor people ask themselves, why am I not rich? Why do I have no money? Why am I always broke? Well, the answer is because you've been this guy your entire life. And if you do the exact same thing every day, how do you expect to get a different result? You can't. It is impossible. And that is why you are poor, because you're not doing what the 1% are doing. The 1% don't do any of this. We do not do any of this. I will never do this. I rather be homeless than do this, because if I was homeless and you give me a phone, I can make money. I can go online, I can create content, I can start different online businesses, I can go on my phone to reach tens of thousands of people in literally 5 minutes, than to be this guy right here and work for a boss and get bossed around and never get a raise, you know? So if you want to get rich, you need to start thinking about transitioning to becoming the 1%. And hopefully we will become the 2% and more people will move on over to this side. However, I do believe that this side will always be a less percentage of people because, again, this is not how we were brought up. I don't have any friends where they were taught to build businesses growing up. There was not a single class in school where they teach you about taxes. There was not a single class in school where they teach you how to save money. They did not teach you how to invest your money. They did not teach you how to start businesses and build companies and leverage other people's time. They do that on purpose because they want you to be this guy to pay taxes. Now, taxes is a different topic, and I may talk about that in a different video, but there you have it. Hopefully you can see the difference between the two types of people in this world. And if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to become more successful, if you want to become a millionaire, whatever it is, you need to start slowly transitioning to this side, or you can do both, okay? If you are someone that is genuinely passionate about what you do at your job, it's not wrong. I am not telling you that you must do this 100%. You don't have to, okay? But I know that that was for me because I just couldn't stand being this guy over here. There is absolutely no way in hell that I will ever be this guy. But I understand that people are different and you may love your job. And if you do, you are very lucky. Kudos to you. But if you are someone that doesn't like their job and you are underpaid and you do not know what to do with your life, but you know that you want to make more money, it's time to start doing both so you can eventually transition over, or you can do both for the rest of your life. I personally have some friends that love their job, but they are always doing some sort of online side hustle so they can get a piece of the pie of this guy over here. If you need one-on-one help to start an online business and to become this guy over here, the 1%, then I want to invite you to my free training in the YouTube description below. Click on the link, enter your name and email address. At the end of my training, you can book a free one-on-one consultation with my team, and we will show you everything step by step, how you can become the 1% and make a lot of money online. Make sure you stick around for the next video coming up. This is where I teach you how to make money on Instagram in 2025. This is the exact social media platform that helps me make 7 figures every year.